Today, I'm going to walk you through three systems in an RV that confuse a lot of people: the converter, the solar system, and the inverter. I'm going to give you inspection points, and I'm going to tell you how each system works correctly so you know what to look for when you're purchasing your next RV. Hi everybody, it's Deb with Deb's RV Services, and welcome to today's video. I'm going to talk to you about the three systems, and we're going to get started with the converter. So let me explain what the converter does. When you have an RV, you have a converter that takes 120 volts from shore power and converts it into 12 volt. It can also charge your battery. So when you are looking at an RV, and as an inspector, what I do when I am inspecting an RV for somebody is I want to make sure that that converter works properly. So when you are off shore power, you just have your battery voltage alone. When you are connected to shore power, you now have the converter in play, and you should see half of a volt increase. So what I mean by that is, let's say your battery sits at 12.5 volts DC without shore power. When you connect shore power, you're now going to see an increase, and it should be at least half of a volt, which would be 13 volts DC. So you are just going to verify that you have an increase in charge from when your battery is off shore power to when your battery is on shore power. But if you have a solar system in play, it's going to be more difficult for you to tell what the voltage is when you are off shore power, because you still have something feeding your battery. A solar system is feeding your battery and charging it. So if you want to remove that from the equation, you can use a solar disconnect if your RV has one, or you can, on a last resort, you can put a towel over the top of the solar panel on the roof. If you want to climb up there and do that, you just want to remove that solar system from the equation so that you can accurately test that converter. The next thing that you want to test with the converter is that the fan is working properly. So the fan automatically turns on when you have the RV on a load. It goes by an amperage of between 3 and 6 amps. So if you're running anything in the RV, it's going to automatically turn that fan on, and the fan is going to continually stay on as long as there is a load. So you want to go through the RV, and as you're testing things, you should listen and hear that fan operating. If it doesn't operate at all and you've had the RV on a load, then you might want to check with the technician to find out if there is a problem. So number two, we're going to talk about how to inspect the solar system. So first thing I do is I look on the roof and I make sure that the solar panels are there, they're intact, they're not warped or cracked or anything that looks out of place. The feet have proper sealant around them. So I'm looking at that first. You have these connectors that are on the roof as well, and I'm making sure that those are connected properly. If they are disconnected, it means the solar won't work, so I make sure that they are connected. So then I'm going to go and I look at the battery themselves. You should see some type of wiring that is connected to the battery, but a way that you can actually tell if it is feeding the battery is simply by looking at something called the solar charge controller. You're going to find the solar charge controller inside the RV, and different brands have different solar charge controllers, so it's not a one size fits all for me to explain it, but some of them have a monitoring system directly on the solar charge controller. So you can look at that display and you can see the battery voltage, which is super important, and then you can see something called PV, which it is a long word that means solar. So it's incoming. You're going to see something, and it depends on the type of solar panels that you have. So you have different type of panels, so the voltage is going to be different depending on the panels. So anywhere from the high teens, like 18 volts, all the way up into the 30s, you could see a voltage. So when you see those numbers, that is going to tell you that the solar is actually incoming. When you see the battery voltage, that means that is the state of the battery, and that means that your solar is working correctly. If you do not have the display to tell you, then you would have to use a multimeter, and that's where somebody that has more experience using a multimeter, if you do have that experience, you can simply take your multimeter and put the positive lead on the positive section of the battery, which is like a screw underneath. You'll see little tiny print that says battery, little tiny print that says PV. So you can take the positive lead on the positive side and the negative lead on the negative side and set your multimeter to volts DC, and you can find the volts. for your battery, you can find the volts for the solar. So that is another method of doing it that's a little bit more complicated if you're not familiar with using a multimeter. But if you are, then you can determine if the solar is working correctly. Now, I had a recent inspection where the display panel itself was not working correctly. So I could still check that the solar was working by using my multimeter, but the display did not work. So that needed to be looked at by a technician and possibly replaced. And number 3, you want to inspect the inverter. What an inverter does is it does the opposite of a converter. So the inverter is going to take your battery power and convert it into 120 power. So it's as if you're on shore power using the outlets. Now, some newer RVs come with standard outlets for that are inverter prepped. You might have a residential refrigerator that is prepped for the inverter and connected. So each RV is different. You don't always know what is connected to the inverter and what isn't. If you have a home built system, it could be anything really. But all in all, when I am checking the inverter, you disconnect it from shore power and then you turn the inverter on. At that point, you should see either the refrigerator turn on, maybe you see a microwave turn on. You'll hear that beep. But not all of these systems are connected to the microwave because that's a really high-powered system. You'd have to have a really nice big inverter with a big battery bank in order to run something like a microwave. Typically, you're going to see it run a residential refrigerator, or you're going to just see it power the TV and certain outlets. So I'm looking for outlets that have power after I turn the inverter on. I will take an outlet tester, and I have one that specifically tests not only the voltage, but also the hertz. So you want to see the hertz around 60. If you see it bouncing all around or maybe super high or super low, then there could be an issue. But overall, you want to check that the outlets have power, and you should see around 120 volts, and that the hertz are around 60. Now, you can try to find out what is connected to the inverter by simply, if you're inspecting something that's by a private owner, you could ask the owner. If it's at a dealership, you could find out what the manufacturer connected the inverter to. Again, it's always different. Nothing is the same, and that's the important thing. So as an inspector, I'm looking for those things, and I'm making sure that it actually powers it up. Now, sometimes on the inverter control panel itself, it will tell you the voltage and the hertz. You can also look for the actual inverter. Usually they're in a cargo bay, and you can just find it and look and make sure that all the wires look good and connected and nothing looks out of place or damaged. Once you check that the inverter is working correctly and that it inverts like it should, then you can reconnect it to shore power so that you make sure that you have shore power coming in and charging the batteries. If you leave the inverter on while you're doing an inspection, you could really suck the battery life out and kill those batteries. You have to remember that even as an inspector, if I have it disconnected from shore power and I run that inverter and if I were to leave it on, I'm going to use up all that battery power and kill the batteries, because that's what it's doing. It's using all that energy. So after you test the inverter, you want to turn that back off and then reconnect it to shore power if it was like that in the first place, or you may have solar. It just depends on how you found this RV, but typically I turn that inverter back off, I go turn on shore power and let that charge the batteries. I leave it as I found it. So I hope that this video helped you learn how to test converter, solar panels, and an inverter. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comments. Tell me if this video helped you. I tried to recreate this video a couple times, but it can be complicated because there's a lot of things at play here, and I started to go too deep into areas that were unnecessary. I didn't want to confuse people, so I redid this whole video, making it nice and simple. And so let me know what you think in the comments. Hey, you guys, I'm back in my RV, and I'm super excited. I'm traveling. So I also wanted to announce that I have launched a second channel. My new channel is called Deb's Road to Freedom, and I created this because I wanted to help people that wanted to get started in this lifestyle. I absolutely love this lifestyle, and this channel is really, the niche is inspections. I didn't want to tamper with it because when I try to add things that are more personal on this channel, it screws up the algorithm. And it's, when you're a YouTuber, if you are a content creator, you totally understand what I'm saying. But if you're not, it's really important that you stick to kind of the niche that you're in when you create this stuff. And this channel is about RV inspections and teaching you. So I have certain people that watch it for that. I don't want to screw it up. So I created a second channel so that I can help people that really want to get into this lifestyle and learn how to live a free life and minimal life. So if you're interested in that content, I will link it below and you can come check me out at Deb's Road to Freedom. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.